If you can speak, you can influence. If you can influence, you can change lives. Greetings of the day. My name is Anu Malhotra, and I am the principal of Father Joseph's English High School. I will take you through today's session about public speaking. Communication, which is said to be the backbone of our society. It allows us to form connections, influence decisions, and motivate changes. Without communications, the ability to progress in the working world and in the life itself would be nearly impossible. If you ask most of the people, they will probably say they don't like public speaking or they don't like the public speech. They may even admit of being afraid of it since the fear of public speaking is very common. For that, many people avoid speaking in public. If you are one of those, then I must say you are missing out. Whether you are a student or plan to get into any work or business after school, you will be greatly helped by improving your public speaking skills. Meanwhile, if you are into public speaking or not, knowing the elements is important as they are part of every conversation. It is applied to all communication events, regardless of the number of receivers or listeners. As we all know that words have the power to inform, persuade, and educate, and even entertain, I must say. And the spoken word can be even more powerful than the written word in the hands of the right speaker. In short, being a public speaker can enhance your reputation, boost your self confidence, and open countless opportunities. The good news is that speaking in public is a learnable skill. As such, you can use some good strategies to become a better speaker and presenter. So make sure you make most out of this session. So here I have a presentation for you all. So our today's topic, as I said earlier, is public speaking. Now, what is public speaking? Public speaking is a formal face-to-face communication method where a person or people use the medium of speech to inform or influence a group to the listeners. Now, students, public speaking is commonly understood as a kind of face to face speaking between people or individuals. And it is basically for the purpose of communication, as it allows us to form connections and motivate changes, as I said earlier. Without communication skills, the ability to progress in the working world is nearly impossible. Even if you don't need to make regular presentations in front of a large group, there are plenty of situations where public speaking will really help you. And it can also, help you advance your career and create more opportunities for you all. For example, you might have to talk about your school in front of a mass or make a speech after accepting an award in your school assembly or your school function, or maybe you have to teach a class to the new recruits. Speaking to the audience always includes online presentations or talks. For instance, when training a virtual team or when speaking to a group of people in an online meeting, the way we are having it right now. And good public speaking skills are very, very important in other areas of your life. It's not just your school, but even after you complete your school, when you begin with your career, these skills are very vital. You might be asked to make a speech at a friend's wedding, or give a eulogy for a loved one, or inspire a group of volunteers at a charity event. Nevertheless, It is a great skill to have for every student. At one point in life, it becomes a necessity to move ahead in your career. Let us see the definition which is given by Merriam-Webster. Public speaking is the act or process of making speeches in public, or the art of effective oral communication with others. Now, what is the importance of public speaking for the kids, for you all, the students basically? The first point says improvement in academics. Now, in almost every curriculum, students are required to do presentations. With the analytical thinking that you learn from public speaking, you will be able to apply your skills in coming up with great presentations. A confident public speaker has the ability to have a strong public presence, which helps in various areas of life. See, children, when you are posed with questions that require critical thinking, you will be able to answer to those very smartly with your research based thought process. With your training in public speaking, you will also be able to confidently handle the assessments that need them to be in front of a panel or a crowd, like quizzes. So the next point says it also helps in it helps in better communication skills. Now, public speaking for students plays a great role in making them a better communicator. So, you are able to express your ideas and thoughts in a clear manner. While this may not sound like much to become a clear communicator, that requires practice. And students who practice this skill easily learn to form valuable opinions and share them confidently with the world. Then our third point says better listening skills. Now, a great public speaker is one who is not only good at giving good speeches, but also the one who can listen well and address the concerns. When you master this skill, you are able to respond appropriately. When you get into the practice of listening well, you are also able to understand and grasp complex subjects. Hence, the listening skills also help you in becoming a better public speaker. Let us move on to the fourth point that says ability to influence. The fourth point that says confidence and self-esteem. Now, in learning public speaking, you will build confidence for sure and have higher esteem that will help you throughout your lives, be it in clearing a oratory skill exam or grabbing people's attention. Children can you can very smartly communicate with the crowd and are you'll be always like found very charming and confident, and most of your problems can be solved with higher self-esteem. Once you learn to face the world fearlessly, you definitely become confident to take on even bigger challenges. Our last point says organizational skills. Public speaking definitely makes you more organized and help you become better planners, as you have to be on your toes to answer questions posed in front of you. This helps you to get into the habit of planning in advance. That helps you throughout your lives in becoming more organized. As you grow up and take on big responsibilities, your organizational skills and your planning skills will definitely improve, and you will be able to have a more analytical mind that will help you in problem solving. All of these factors make you future ready, I must say that. And it will also help you to become an influential leader as you grow. Let us have our next slide. Now, we all know that people have fears of public speaking. So, what are these fears? The first one is fear of doubt. Any doubt you feel will show will be shown through your speech. And when you doubt yourself, you will also show it to your audience. So don't let that come out, or don't let that be shown to your audience. Instead, build up confidence and self assurance that can beat out that doubt. Research your topic well, be thorough with your planning, and the more you know about what you are saying, the less likely you will be going wrong. Then we have the fear of nervousness. Never let them see you sweat. Never let your audience know that you are nervous. If you're afraid that your voice will start to shake, or uh, your voice will just be out of control, tame that nervousness through your preparation. Rehearse your speech out loud and frequently. The more you practice and go through the motions, that the more you will be accustomed to speaking. Gather a few friends, sit with them, rehearse your speech in front of them, put yourself together out, in the spotlight, and prepare more. Get into the just do it attitude. The fear of forgetting. Well, I have had this fear several times. But another point I wanted to bring up was so blank. We've all been there sometime or the other. We've all experienced that moment of awkward silence when you just forget what you were just about to say next. Again, a way to prevent this is by rehearsing frequently. Remember what point follows next and memorize a basic outline for your speech, and practice following one concept into the next and memorize that order. Then fear of technology. I'm sure nowadays you all are very smart with the technology. You can't always count on technology, actually, and nothing can throw confidence and preparation out the window like a malfunction in a PowerPoint. So don't let this fear win by arriving early to the venue or testing your presentation before the start. Just by the time you are just ready to speak, the presentation should have been tested at least once or twice before that. So be prepared for that. The last but not the least, we have the fear of the unexpected. Okay, now the unavoidable fear that something will go wrong, and a lot of times it does. Scenarios can include a question from an audience member that you don't know the answer to, or negative reactions from the audience sometimes. So this some strategies need to be we need to build up some strategies which can help us to gain confidence back, and we'll have to prepare ourselves to be the champion. The tactics can be applied where we can always have a recovery plan for failed jokes, tough questions, glitches in the technology, and any other curveball. Moving to the next slide. Now, before any presentation, you have to remember some major points. The first one says preparation is the key. Definitely, I have said it earlier. Preparation has to be very thorough. Then write down the structure for your presentation, edit your writing, read it out loud to yourself so that you can hear it. You will come to know your errors. And then introduction, body, and conclusion. Now, when I say introduction, body, and conclusion, it means basically the speech that you are giving. The introduction should, gain attention in the opening. It can be humor, some quotations, some questions. So introduction should always indicate your topic. Remember that. When it comes to body, The body of your writing that you're going to present to your audience should elaborate the subject, and it should emphasize the changes between the divisions. When you are having some divisions in your writing, it should emphasize the changes between them and put relevant examples to support your stand. And the conclusion is you have to restate the subject, summarize the key points, and give a statement of the conclusion, or give a main message basically. And then lastly, it says practice again. As I said, over and over, again and again, practice and preparation is the key. Moving to the next slide. Basics of public speaking. Now, you have to definitely know your topic. That is for sure. Remember, you are the expert of your topic that you have chosen. So show some confidence. Nobody in the room knows more than you. So make sure that you know it thoroughly so you can teach others. Do not let that nervousness come out to your face. Then know your audience. What do they find funny? What are they interested in? Find a hook. Now, a hook is an interesting, funny, or creative beginning to your presentation. Remember, students, the first 30 seconds of a presentation or of any speech that you're giving in public, the first 30 seconds are very important. So a good hook will keep your audience focused. We'll move to the next slide now. So next we have some more basics. Be yourself. So you should not try to do what your friends would do, or you will really mess up. Just be yourself and you will feel the most comfortable. Stay on the point. Do not discuss topics that are not relevant or important to your presentation. That will distract you as well as your audience, and you will lose your focus and your track. And do not repeat yourself. This is very important. Repeating a point more than a few times sounds as if you do not have anything else to say. So avoid it. It also sounds boring sometimes. You know, your audience, they just get bored if they listen to the same thing over and over. Now, showing confidence is vital. When you are addressing to a large group of people or a small group of people, you have to project a calm, confident tone while speaking. You cannot be just in a rush. You cannot, be hurrying while you are speaking in front of a large group. You are the expert on the topic, remember that. So you have nothing to worry about. Audience can tell when you are nervous or you do not know what you are talking about. So, and especially you never know, some people are very good observers. So confidence can be gained through good preparation and effective practicing. Moving on to the next slide. Now here we have some tips for becoming a better public speaker. So it says, mind your voice. Remember that no matter how compelling your message is, it will be just lost if your audience cannot hear it. So be sure to speak up. Not all public speaking platforms have a microphone. So be sure to practice. Well, I do not have a microphone with me right now. I'm sure that you are able to hear me very loud and clear. Then be aware of your body language. It's the most important thing. We all have our nervous tics and unconscious habits, Maybe I might be having some, and you can observe that. A good way of finding out yours is to record yourself practicing your speech and watch your body. Do you talk with your hands? Do you shift your body weight from one side to another? Is your hair in your face? Or it takes hard work to manage some of these, things. But practicing poised posture will be well worth the time. Be prepared. The next point says be prepared. So the most comfortable you are with your content, the more comfortable you will be delivering it in front of a group of people. So depending on the situation. You may prepare some notes. Notes may be encouraged, or either way, it's good to be familiar enough with your content that you can recover if you get a little lost on the way. So be sure to practice your content in a way that helps you remain familiar with the content, but doesn't give the impression that you've completely memorized it. Take care of that too. Be confident. We've already spoken about confidence, how it plays a key role in your presentations. And again, it says practice. This all takes practice. Even the public speaking greats, this they started nervously somewhere. Even good public speakers, they get nervous sometimes. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes, and that this is a process of development, not a one stop fail or pass test. That's okay to make mistakes. Just don't be disheartened. Moving on to the next slide. So, as it's now, we have some do's and don'ts for planning your talk. So, do decide what is the purpose of your talk, and what is the take home message for the audience. What have they really gained something out of that session? Do prepare a talk that will fit within the time limit. Keeping a track of time is very, very important, very compulsory, very, very it's a necessity basically. Then the don'ts we have here is like, don't forget that studies show an audience can remember only 3 or 4 things you present in a talk. So now, students, do not forget what all I am saying. So don't distract yourself from your message by including topics or excessive details, which is really not required by the audience. Don't forget that any lecture is a performance. You must work to get your message across. Some basics that we have, the do's and the don'ts. Do show your enthusiasm and energy. If you are not excited about your topic, how do you think your audience is going to be excited about it? Do face your audience. If you need to see your slides, then look either at the overhead of the projector in front of you, or at the screen on the computer running your presentation. It's not only rude to turn your back towards your audience, but it is it also means that you are speaking into the screen or the wall, or making it hard for them to hear. So make sure you are facing your audience. Do speak loudly enough. I already said the people should at least be able to hear you, to understand what you mean to say. Then don't fidget nervously in front of your audience. Make your movements and gestures purposeful. Don't stick your hands in your pocket. That actually sounds it shows, it's a sign of being rude when you put your hands inside your pocket when you're talking to somebody. Or hook your thumbs under your belt, or engage into any creative diversions. Try to use, more of hand gestures. Moving to the next slide. Words, phrases, etc. Now, do clearly define any terms, that that the audience may not be familiar with. Remember, they are probably not all from the same specialty as you. So it's very, very important for the words and the phrases that you're using. Do keep acronyms to an absolute minimum. They are like speed bumps to listeners unfamiliar with them. Definitely. If I use any acronym that you don't understand, you will completely lose the sentence. You will not understand a bit of what I wanted to say. So avoid that. Don't start sentences with so. Don't end sentences with right or okay, because then it shows that that it is right for you, but for the audience, maybe you never know. So avoid using okay at the end of a sentence. Don't apologetically introduce a topic with Just real quick or briefly, what that tells your audience is that this isn't really important or relevant, but I am going to inflict it onto you anyway. So, children, do remember this. So, a quick run through these do's in public speaking: smile and have fun. Smiling is very important. Whatever you are doing, I think you must smile, especially when you are, giving a presentation in front of your schoolmates, your school teachers, or maybe after when you choose for a career. Smiling is really important. Even while you are giving an interview, it's good to smile. Speak loud, relax, be yourself, know your audience, be confident, claim attention, wrap up your speech on time, be flexible, connect with your people during the presentation, face your audience, use more gestures, use simple and understandable language. So, just a quick recap of all the do's and all the don'ts. Do not fear, do not rush your presentation, otherwise, it will lose all its essence. Do not stick your hands in your pockets. Remember that thoroughly, children. Do not underestimate your audience. Do not point fingers. Do not hurt people's feelings. You should also always, in when you're giving speeches, always remember the words that you're using. So be very, very clear in the message. It should not be hurting to anyone. Do not dictate, avoid unbecoming language, avoid repetition, do not put up an aggressive face. So, smile is the answer. And don't make things which you are not sure about. Don't just pick up those things. Only go ahead when you are sure about something. Understanding the role of body language. Now, body language plays a very important role when you are talking to somebody, even when you have a one to one conversation with someone, your body language plays a vital role. What is body language? Simply put, in words, body language is your body's way of communicating without the use of spoken words. It's the combination of your facial expressions, gestures, movements that convey what goes on in your mind. So, if I'm nervous, what will I do? If I'm not happy to see somebody, what will I do? So, it will all be reflected through my gestures, my facial expressions. Importance of a body language in a presentation. When it comes to presentations, body language has the power to help you succeed or fail. A very big statement, I must say. Now, body language tips to improve your public speaking. All right. The first one is eye contact. So, if you think you are exempt from eye contact just because you're on stage, then you are in for a reality check. No matter how small or big your audience is, you will need to make an eye contact. Don't forget to do that. Then your facial expressions, as I said, your facial expressions. Having a very expressive face can both be positive and negative. It's positive if you make it work for you, if you use it to help get your message across. However, it's negative if you can't control what your face says. Your face says so much about you. In fact, your face literally says it all. Believe me. Then your head movements. The head movements, the way you move your head during your presentation can be interpreted through n number of ways. For instance, when you tilt your head to the side, it can mean you're interested or or listening with intention, with good intention. When you lower your head, it can the audience might feel you are exhausted or you are just waiting for the right opportunity to say something. When you look up at the ceiling or while talking, it might, the audience might feel you are just avoiding to make the eye contact with your audience. So your head movements are very important. They indicate a wide range of signals and expressions. Then we have hand gestures. Hand gestures play an important role in presentation. Some people like to move their hands a lot, while others keep their hands still. Which is the right thing to do? We always keep thinking that. So when you move your hands while speaking, that shows confidence. So this is a very simple example. If I share with you, let's say you are outlining a few points in your presentation, and for each point, you will say something like, so on to the first point, or the second point I want to make is. So when you say first point, you hold your finger up, or when you get to the second point, so you can again hold your fingers, and so on. Let's move to the first point, let's move to the second point. So your hand gestures, your hand movements play a really, really important role. And your body posture. You have mastered, you might have mastered your poker face, and your facial expressions reveal nothing about your true emotions. But if you don't pay attention to your posture, then you could still be sending out negative vibes to the audience. So posture is really very important. If your shoulders are slouching, or your back is all rigid and tense, then your posture isn't exactly reassuring for your audience. It speaks volumes about your fear. So if you think you're not good enough, then your posture will tell that story. So when your audience get some clues, then you could very well lose your credibility. Hence, make sure that you have a good body posture when you are presenting yourself. Moving on to the next slide. So, final thought on the importance of body language, as you can see on my screen. Your body language says so much about you as a presenter. It can also make or break your presentation. Take the time to practice not just your speech and your presentation slides, but work on your body language as well. You'll have an engaged audience, and your presentation's message will be heard loud and clear. Moving on to the next slide. Some quick takeaways. People have many reasons for engaging in public speaking, but the skills necessary for public speaking are applicable whether someone is speaking for information, or trying to persuade the audience, or for entertainment reasons. So knowing why are we speaking is very important. Taking a public speaking class will also help you all children to improve your speaking skills, and it will also help you be a more critical thinker. Fine tune your verbal and non-verbal communication skills, which will help you overcome your public speaking anxiety. Effective public speaking skills have many direct benefits for the individual speaker, including influencing the world around you, developing leadership skills, and becoming a go-to person for ideas and solutions. Definitely. People would love to come and share things with you, get your opinion if you are a good public speaker. Now, I have a small exercise, a tip for you all, or maybe you can say a suggestion. Talk to people who are currently working in the career you hope to pursue. Of the three types of public speaking discussed in the text, which do you use the most? So also read few of the speeches, some speeches which are given here in my the link which I have shared. And despite following all these great tips, you may still forget an important point or make a blunder. Instead of beating yourself up about it, let it go. And just tell yourself that each presentation is a new opportunity and a blank canvas. So public speaking examples are really great for learning to, improving a new skill. One great source of recorded public speeches is TED Talks, which is a series of short presentations on a wide variety of topics. So you can observe how the speakers, go about giving their speech in such shows. And in the process, you'll improve your speaking skills also. Well, before I conclude, I would just like to quote that a good speech is like a pencil. It needs to have a point. Remember, I hope this session was informative and proves to be helpful in your public speaking. That's all for now. Thank you and stay safe.